If you're not working out, but you are, scrolling a bunch, like you said, you got to start treating that thing like a drug that's kind of starting to fuck with your life. You got to stay off the phones, and you just got to go do it. You're gonna get a call, you're gonna find out, blah blah blah. I get over to City College, and I'm like, wait, so if I don't show up, you're not gonna call my parents? So never went. I conquer a bunch of fears, especially just like a simple math class, man. And honestly, I fucking loved COVID. I loved it. It was the best time of my life. I didn't believe in the training style. I think it was just leading to injuries. So COVID happens, I laid off, but I still had the information to all the clients there. Changed my life. So one, that taught me to just fucking go for it.
Before we get into this podcast, can you do me a massive favor and subscribe to this YouTube channel? Our goal here at Ignite Fit Life is to build the Bay Area's fittest community. And you're going to help me do that by subscribing to this channel. Enjoy the episode. Carlos, welcome to the show.
Man, thank you so much for having me. This is a very professional setting, and I'm excited to be here.
Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to having you on and having this discussion about your life.
Yeah.
How it led to you being a coach, and what it is for you, how what a coach means to you, and what your life is going to be like as a coach moving forward in the future. So yeah, let's talk about it. Let's reel back the years. That's what I like to do at the beginning. Take it all the way back. Where did you grow up? What was life like for Carlos as a kid, growing up, etc.? Talk to me more about that.
Man, so born in San Francisco. I lived in South San Francisco. All the schools that I went to were in San Francisco, where my parents worked, so they wanted me to stay close. And honestly, when it comes to, growing up, I was blessed to have, the greatest parents in the world, very supportive, and, fortunate to grow up in a 2-parent household. One of the most important things that was instilled in me was, be a good person. And I think that's, one of the biggest things that I want to implement into, my family, my daughter. What else? So yeah, growing up, I had an older brother. So it kind of felt like sometimes I had 3 parents. And I would definitely say my dad was a little on the strict side growing up. My mom was the one that was, a little more comforting and caring. So I kind of got the best of both worlds. I was able to do, a lot of fun things. And then I was able to understand what, having a regiment looked like. So my dad, very early on, he was actually, always in the gym, working out. He's the one that kind of got us, made sure that we had the days where we were eating, healthy fish, blah, blah, blah. My mom was always the one that taught us, hey, sometimes you got to chill. Sometimes you got to have fun. On Fridays, we'll, pick me and my brother up, and we'll go have a fun lunch, a fun dinner. So yeah, again, very fortunate. Even as an adult now, I'm always trying to kind of thank them for that in my actions. It's always in the back of my mind. Is what I'm doing right now a reflection of how I was raised? And that's kind of how I make certain decisions in life.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely come across like that. And anyway, in the gym, which is what I love to see inside of a gym. You have that very calm demeanor about you when you walk in, which is why I wanted to sit down with you today and have that discussion with you, because you come in, you work with chicas, you're very respectful, obviously, when you come through the gym, and then I found out that you were a coach. And I can see now, obviously, that your dad being more on the fitness side of things growing up, and then your mom's just like, well, you can do that, but you can also have fun, which is great, So talk to me a little bit more about, of course, your dad growing up, and when you were growing up, you had your dad, and he was into the fitness side of things. Obviously that played a huge role for you growing up. Just elaborate a little bit more about that and what you saw, if you can remember what you saw, and how that made if it did make much of an impact in you growing up. Or just talk to me a bit more on that line of things.
So yeah, I mean, so my brother was always, he's like about almost 5 years older than me. You know, some kids are kind of naturally like just athletes and they want to play. Honestly, I don't know what it was about me, but you know, naturally in third grade, you get put into sports, you know, basketball, blah, 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 soccer.
Yeah.
And so I was put into sports very early, but for some reason, I just didn't really, mentally, I didn't take to it. So like, I think it was one of my first basketball games ever. I had a panic attack.
Oh, wow.
Third grade, you know what I mean? And like just hyperventilating, and you know, I think, and I tend to do this, you know, as an adult too. Sometimes make the moment a little bigger than it is. So it's funny. It's like my body has been an athlete for so many years, but mentally, it was torture. You know what I mean? And because I didn't really know, you know, I naturally didn't watch sports growing up. I didn't understand it, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas other kids, you know, sometimes you go to a football game, basketball game, you can see like 6-year-olds and 9-year-olds in the crowd, you know, yelling and holding up signs. I was watching, you know, anime, cartoons and stuff. So I didn't understand the sport. And what that led to was just years and years of coaches just like saying the most fucked up shit to me because they don't give a fuck.
No.
Which, you know, in a way, it's if there's a positive in it, it is that like, damn, if I can handle this coach fucking calling me retarded and stuff, and then the rest, I can handle anything. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the best way I could put it. Physically, I did a bunch of sports, but yeah, mentally it was kind of torture, you know, because I do feel like, I always say this, I feel like my brain didn't really turn on until like I left high school. So growing up, yes, I did play a lot of sports, and even when I wanted to quit, one of the most important things that, you know, was taught to me was you can't. There's not an option. You know what I mean? So you just got to stick it out.
And where'd you get the mentality of like, you know, not quitting? You just got to stick it out.
My mom.
Okay.
You made the fun one, you know, but she was like, nah, you know, you made a commitment, you know, and you have to follow through with it. And
so she just gave you like the structure that you needed as well, though.
Yeah, and she just didn't give me a choice, you know, which is kind of, you know, what I also wanted. That's the kind of parent that, you know, I want to be. You know, I like the style of parenting of not being the best friend. You know, I do believe that that's going to get more positive results. You know, everyone has their own style. But yeah, so that is my relationship with fitness growing up.
Yeah, and then so including, so you told me that your dad was like the one that was into, you know, the fitness side of things, right?
Yeah.
You know, that's where that was his line of things. Talk to me a little bit more about, you know, that reflection on you.
So he was the first one to take me to the gym. You know, even when I didn't know what the hell I was doing. You know, he gave me like a couple like 2 exercises to do, and you know, he made the gym a normal place to be.
That's
you know
good.
what I mean? So he and then, you know, there was a basketball court there. He would take me and my brother. He gave me like 2 exercises to do, or, you know, if you wanted to go play basketball, but he just made that, it wasn't so much of a regimen, like this is what you're gonna do, you're gonna do this and that. It was just, no, come to the gym and just get used to being in a place surrounded by people trying to better themselves. And also too, you know, about my father, he's like over 40 years AA.
Oh.
So yeah, you know, that's also, you know, growing up, I also, every Saturday when I was with them, I would be at like AA meetings, you know what I mean? Not in the room, but I could hear them talk, and, you know, that's also, you know, a regiment. And he's also, I got to see him, you know, constantly helping people that needed it. My mother, she would help kids in the juvenile system, or she would help parents whose kids were going down the wrong path. You know what I mean? And they just had no answers. So I got the fitness kind of aspect and the no quitting aspect from my parents. And most importantly, I got to see both of them help people, you know, out of the goodness of their hearts, you know,
Yeah.
because, you know, you're not getting like paid for that, you know, you're serving people and you're trying to help others, you know, one, trying to help people give up alcohol, which, you know, tears up families and
Trust
can
me, I
just,
know.
yeah, can just end, you know, just end everything. My mother trying to help kids, you know, like when kids are down the wrong path and you give them freedom, it's usually not going to be, you know, it's usually not going to end well.
Okay.
So that was cool. So I just saw a lot of positivity and
Of
a lot
course.
of helping, and that's what naturally makes me want to just help people. I love it.
So that's the foundation of it all for you.
Big time.
Yeah. I mean, so it's not something you grew up around it. You know, your parents were there. Their mission in life was to help people improve themselves, their mentality, their mental state. And it's always amazing to see that growing up. I'm sure at some, like growing up and noticing that, you must have been like super proud as a kid at the time, just kind of watching your parents do that kind of stuff. But fitness, becoming a coach didn't come until later on in life, right?
Yeah. So
You got, I mean, obviously from that point up to like 6 or 7 years ago when you first became a coach, what was your, you know, what was your first job? What was your first like kind of mission towards like, you know, work?
man, so after I was done just underachieving my whole like middle school, high school career, you know, like I said, my brain really didn't turn on until after. But so after I was done underachieving and I put myself in a position to where, you know, the only place I was going to go to was, you know, across the street. I went to Reardon and across the street was City College. So that was a joke. Like you're going to go to UC, that school across the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's where I went. I got my first taste of freedom, which was the worst thing ever because, you know, when you're going to a Catholic school, you can't just not show up. You know, someone's going to get a call. They're going to find out, blah, blah, blah. I get over to City College and I'm like, wait, so if I don't show up, you're not going to call my parents? So never went. So then fucked that up. And then and then I started working at Macy's and yeah. And that was just the first of many jobs where I just hated life. You know what I mean? I just lived for the weekend, you know, started drinking. And that's really all I did was just work physical jobs. So like working in the dock, unloading the trucks and stuff. Fucking brutal. And I was just waiting for Friday to come so I could just get, you know, fucked up with my friends. And that was it. It was just a never-ending cycle. And the problem that I had was I would just hate it. I'm like, oh God, like I can't do this any longer. I need a new job. And then that new job would be kind of the same thing, you know? It'd be a little exciting in the beginning. And I'm like, damn, this is just the same shit over and over again. Working trucks or, you know, working at this shoe store. Anyways, years have passed. And, you know, I'm in my late 20s. And the friends that I was getting fucked up with, you know, they were in school. I was getting fucked up with them, but they were still handling their shit. So I start to see them kind of, you know, flourish, you know, graduating college, going into the careers that they planned on, you know, entering. And I'm like looking around and I'm like, oh shit, like I'm about to get left behind. And like, you know, time really does go by at the snap of a finger. So luckily too, around that time around that time I had met my wife.
Nice.
And, you know, start hanging out, we become official. And what I love about her was, you know, very early on, she kind of challenged me, you know, she's like, what do you want to do?
Did you just grew up and just found people that just challenged you your whole life? Like basically you had your parents that kind of like did it, but then you were just falling into you know, you had your friends, well, obviously, and you saw that they were, you know, getting the shit together, but also like the party. And then you got, you know, your girl comes along. It's just like, boom, you found this girl that's just like, but I'm going to make you get your shit together.
Yeah, man. And, you know,
that's good though.
And again,
the universe is on your side for sure.
Again, the parents can only do so much. You know, I mean, and that was the first time in my life where, you know, obviously, you know, the parents will never give up on you. But that was the first, and when I told you, I'm telling you, and they were getting worried about me because I truly was just getting fucked up doing dumb shit. And they're thinking like, oh shit, am I gonna have to be like, in AA in a couple of years? And
Going to it so often, you almost become it.
yeah, but the parents can only be on you so much. Eventually you're gonna be an adult, you're doing your own things. And yeah, my wife kind of came into my life at a perfect time. We hung out a lot. So like I was saying, she challenged me very early on, like, so what do you want to do with your life? Obviously, the first time I heard that, I got all butthurt. I'm like, man, you don't even know me like that. But then after I was like, she's right, man.
That's good to find that maturity though. Man, we say maturity, but it's more of like the self-awareness, which is a huge thing.
Honestly, I think that really has saved my life. You know what I mean? And again, I think that I know that that's what I got, from my parents. And like you said, the universe works in mysterious ways. I mean, the friends that I've had, the siblings that I've had, I've noticed, all self-aware, and just being able to be honest with others and yourself. So she decides that she wants to go back to school because she was out of it for a while as well. We're gonna go back to city. And I said, all right, you know what? I'll join you. I'm not doing anything here.
Wait, you joined her in college?
Yeah.
Oh,
so she's a couple years younger than me.
Okay, yeah.
And she had taken a break from school, a little one. And, she was like, she was ready. She goes, I'm going to go back and, try to transfer out, So I said, all right, I'm going to go too, because I've never been in a class setting and felt confident. So I said, I'm going to go for like a semester or two, and I think I'm going to go and I'm not going to get one fucking C. Let's see if I can do it. And it was the most life-changing thing that ever happened to me in my life. To this day, it was for so many years in these dead-end jobs, you forget quickly how big the world is and how just, how amazing it feels to be outside with other people that are just ambitious, even if it's going to school and just trying to pass a class.
Yeah.
So it was cool just being around so many, so many students, everyone with the same goal. Fast forward, I conquer a bunch of fears, especially just like a simple math class, man, and passing classes that I didn't think I could ever do good in or even get compliments from the teacher. And I did all of that, To someone, it's like the littlest thing. To me, it was the biggest thing in my life at the moment.
I'm going to relate.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that before we move forward onto before I became a coach, because I think this is where you and I relate. So you growing up, being in school, in primary school, well, it's elementary school here. In primary school in Ireland, elementary school, I think that was the only time in which I think there was a teacher called Miss Wynn, right? And she was the one that made me feel like I could do things and accomplish things. So I always felt, with her around, I always felt like I could do stuff, But I always, no matter what, I always felt like I was doing something wrong. People were always telling me that I was doing something wrong. This is wrong, that is wrong, blah, blah, blah. Then I get into secondary school, which is like middle school, high school here, combined. And in secondary school, that just went to shit.
Yeah.
I never failed classes, again, just fell into partying, all that kind of stuff, drinking. And it came to a point where I was, so ambitious inside my head, but I was so used to failure at the same time. Yeah. So no matter how ambitious I got towards a certain goal, as soon as, and I would talk about it and it would be in my head and I get super excited about it. And then all of a sudden then something would happen. And then all of a sudden then I would self-sabotage at that point. I'm like, fuck, I knew this was going to happen to me again. So I was in that cycle for a very long time until I became part of the fitness industry. And being part of the fitness industry has allowed me to, the only compliment I think I ever got in my adult life from being in school was when I was in college. And the teacher said that I was smarter than he thought I was from the beginning of, because I was a bit of a doofus, whatever, I don't know. But at the beginning, but then he said that to me and I was like, those little compliments when you get that, when you worked hard and you got to the point where you're not going to get any C's or whatever you're saying, and then getting to the point where you're accomplishing little goals, it builds such the self-respect.
Yeah.
It builds the confidence in yourself that you need. And one of the things we'll talk about now is like, and I think this goes to everybody who's listening right now. In order to build confidence and to build self-respect, you have to accomplish the little things first. You know, it doesn't matter what that little thing is. You can just, you know, again, getting an A in math, right? Just whatever it is, just that little goal. You said that you were going to do this on Saturday. Don't go out on the piss on Friday and start drinking and then not do that thing on Saturday. Like go and do the thing that you said you're going to do. And just that little thing will help build your confidence and and that's when you start to become a better version of yourself.
Amen.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel that relates to you as well, you know? So talk to me a little bit more on that side of things as well, how that, you know, and what could you share to the audience obviously about, you know, those goals that you accomplished and how that, you know, you've already had that stuff growing up. It's already kind of ingrained in you, but it's still, we get to our adolescence and we just change.
Yeah.
The hormones come in, you know, we try to be cool, we try to fit in, we try to do all these things for other people because we care about what other people think. And then we just lose track of who we are. And then all of a sudden then we have to build that person back up again.
That was honestly, like everything you just said was me growing up. And like literally like up until like that moment, you know, with going back to school with my wife. Yeah, it was just like an identity crisis and self-sabotage. Those two things.
Identity crisis and self-sabotage.
Man.
That's like so, I think it's everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
and everybody has their own, some extreme identity crisis, some not so extreme, but either way, if you're in that identity crisis, you're going to self-sabotage if you don't achieve the other person that's inside your head. Because there's two people. There's one that's going to fuck you up and then the other one that's going to help you do well. Yeah. And if you concentrate on the one that's like fucking you up all the time, then you're constantly letting yourself down. You're always going to be disappointed in yourself. You know?
Before you know it, you're like about to be 30 and you're like, oh shit. Oh shit.
And then you're 30, you're like, oh no.
Fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then, you know, after I believe it was 2 semesters, I'm like, you know what? I just had so much confidence and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm done with this. I want to go get certified and I want to go.
Love that.
I want to go train people, man. I want to go do, because I never thought that was possible. Again, just self-sabotage and not having confidence. Mm-hmm. But this time I'm like, man, I'm gonna get certified. And you know, I felt like I kind of did what I wanted to do there. You know, my wife went on to graduate, you know, go to USF and, you know, so she did her thing. I was like, you know, I'm gonna go do my thing. So it was kind of a perfect turn of events. The job that I had, they had actually too, it was fucking kind of close here. The company we used to call Muntree, and I swear they used to be posted like right around the block. But anyway, so they went out of business. I was out of a job, and I was like, all right, this is a perfect time. Go study, go get my certification.
So in college, you studied what did you study in college?
I honestly, it was just getting my general.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
And when I started, this is how much of a fuck up I was. When I started that little journey, my diploma was still at my high school. Like I didn't even get it.
Oh.
Because I don't even know what the fuck I did. I had to do like something about, I had to fix something with the credits.
Okay.
And I was too fucking lazy to even do that.
Yeah, you just kind of procrastinate. You know you have to do it, but you kind of have to. You just procrastinate on it, so you just don't get it done.
So I'm fucking like a grown ass adult going to one high school to get these credits, going back to my old high school to tell them, oh hey, so I do have these credits, and getting this diploma, so I can, But I'll never forget because it did. I told my mom, man, I'm gonna go get that diploma I never got. And I could see in her face, she goes, all right, I think he's on it. So you think the wires are starting to, you know.
It is a rewiring though. It is though, you know.
Crazy, yeah.
That's it. I think, I don't know, man, I can get into this for days. This is the type of stuff that I think about all the time. It's insane. It is though, especially when I have these conversations. You just, I mean, it's okay to like lose yourself. What did I hear? there was a psychiatrist, someone went to a psychiatrist, says, okay, like something happened and your man, his father had passed away and he just completely lost the plot altogether. He's like, it's okay to lose the plot as long as you come back. What's happening, folks? Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Just give me 60 seconds of your time and we'll get right back into it. Have you ever found it difficult to find the time throughout your busy schedule to work out or even be consistent with your workouts? Well, don't worry, folks. That's exactly why I designed the Inner Fire program. The Inner Fire program is a 60-day workout program. You've got 5 workouts a week, 2 strength, 2 HIIT, and 1 mobility session. These workouts are literally 30 minutes or less that you can do anywhere, in the gym, even at home, or even in your office if you wanted to. You'll become part of a community of like-minded individuals that will be there to support you along the way so that you can become the best version of yourself. You will have the guidance of a coach and the support of the community to help you get you from where you are now to where you want to be. If this is something that you want to get involved in, folks, go to the link in the description, click it, and join now. You've got your first 7 days for free. You know, That's the whole thing. It's like people are just so, when they just lose the plot, there's shame involved, you know, people are disappointed, you're disappointed in yourself, other people are disappointed, you're going off and doing all these things, you're just this big disappointment, and nobody's really allowing you to kind of just go through what it is that you need to go through and then come back.
Yeah.
Some people are like, well, extreme, and there's nothing we can do about that. That's, you know, but just general, myself and yourself. I feel like it wasn't, a lot of times growing up, there was a lot of shame and guilt and disappointment. That's what I felt. Maybe that's just how I felt.
Yeah.
You know, because the words of what have been spoken to me, you know, and then just getting to this point now and just, well, fuck all that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What? Like, why do I care so much about what other people thought? And, you know,
Yeah.
And then eventually, you know, 1 year sober now, you know, and it came to that point where I had 2 lives.
Yeah.
It's either you want this one that you've been crashing on for the past 20 years, or you want this one that's been there your whole entire life. Yeah. You're just not, you know, grabbing it and moving forward with it. But the easiest thing for me is your situation. It's finding a partner who's willing to, you know, be there for you and support you. And it just makes life so much easier for you rather than being with someone who just gives you shit all the time. And you're like, I know that's who I am. I get it. Like, just leave me alone and let me become the better version of myself. But if they keep gnawing at you and nagging at you, like they're their parent, and it's just like, it's annoying and it just doesn't work out. And that's just how I felt. But then I got with my now fiance, which is why she's my fiance, is because she allowed me to become the person that I've always wanted to be by just allowing me to just be myself and not give me shit about it, you know, and having that support system and not, you know, just give me that support that I needed to get me to where I needed to go. Yeah. You know, and you found that as well at an early age with your fiance now, or your wife now, and you guys have a kid and you're moving forward.
Crazy.
That's amazing, you know?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I relate to you in that aspect, and it means a lot with the people that are in your life. Is just allow us to just get us to the point that we need to get to. Don't give a shit because we already know we're doing what we're doing, but just let us be.
Congratulations on the 1 year.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah. I'm going to mention that on every podcast. I don't care.
Oh yeah,
it's a huge thing.
Until it's shit is hard.
It is.
It's hard. But like what you were saying about, you know, lose the plot but come back. You know, I feel like that's kind of what helped me too. Even when I was all the years I was, you know, not applying myself, drinking all the time. You know, I still made time for the gym. It may not have been the best workouts ever, but that was the one positive habit that I had. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know, you know, at the time, I'm just doing it just because, you know, it was fun. It was a fun hobby. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you know, that's honestly, I've had, anytime a young person, you know, asks me for any fitness advice, I'm just like, hey, you're probably gonna do some crazy shit, you know, and, you know, which is your right, do it, because so you're not resentful when you're older, you're not, I don't know, but whatever you do, just stay in the gym, you know. That's if you're, look, that's what I'm saying, you're gonna do what you do, you know.
Yeah, I want to talk about this with you, so elaborate on this as much as possible, because this is important, and it's been something that I've been thinking about as well, which is very important. I believe that because I was able to get away from drinking, partying, but also have a positive mindset no matter what, was because I've been lifting weights since I've been 15 years of age.
Yeah.
I am the guy out of all my friends, for the most part, not everybody, but for the most part, like I was one of the only fitness trainers. There was maybe maybe three other fitness trainers in my town at the time when I became a personal trainer. So I was the guy that was always running, lifting, eating well. It didn't matter what I was doing on the weekends, partying, drinking, doing drugs. That was just the other side to me that it was really hard to get away from. But no matter what, Monday, I was lifting weights. And having that the past 20 odd years is the reason why the drugs and alcohol didn't completely fuck me up.
Yeah, facts.
You know?
Hell yeah.
You know? And is that kind of like your situation as well? Just with the, just being healthy overall, that's just allowed you to have that kind of less foggy mindset.
Yeah. And like, growing up, was I hungover on some of those workouts? Absolutely. But it forced me to have that mind state where I got to show up no matter what. If I'm hungover, that's on me. That's my job to not be hungover next time and maybe do things a little differently. So it would be spurts. Like I would have healthy month and then a shitty month. But, it taught me to, keep trying, and to not just give up because I couldn't make it last, 5 months, So I've always had that mind state, just okay, you fucked up. All right, well, fucking get back up and just do it again. Change one thing, and just keep going and keep going. So, yeah. So all the youngins out there, man, just stay in the gym no matter what, matter what, and they'll add up. You're putting days in the piggy bank, and when it's time to change your life around, or maybe give up the party lifestyle, drinking, drugs, you'll be at a much better starting spot than you would be if you're just picking it up for the first time at a late age. So yeah, man, fucking crazy. Yeah. And then, so then started training a little bit, and boom, then COVID hits. And honestly,
what did you do?
I fucking loved COVID. I loved it. It was the best time of my life. I do say that knowing that, it might have been the worst for some people.
We are similar. I swear to God, as you speak now, it's like we're similar. We have that kind of like similar thing with COVID. It wasn't the best time, but it was kind of like, okay, I kind of benefited from this a little bit more than most people did.
Big time. I mean, it was honestly, I feel a little guilty saying it, but God, I miss it.
I know.
I miss it. I still
bring back COVID.
I still have dreams. I still have dreams about the empty freeway and just me being the only one on there.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I'll ever get to experience that ever again.
Never.
Unless it's like 5 a.m. You're the only one. But with all seriousness, I mean, it truly put me in a position to where I had to figure things out for myself. I damn sure didn't want to just sit around and not do anything. The first week, you find out that you're not going back to work or whatever the hell you're going. That first week you're going to party a little bit. But then after it's like, all right, I can't let myself get out of shape. So, that's when I fell in love with, and I was living in the Sunset area at this time. They got a lot of stairs, and that's when my love for stairs was birthed. And that's all I would do, every other day, just stay in shape, do my cardio. There were no gyms open. Gyms were, like speakeasies back then. I had to like look for some. But yeah. So how it taught me to be a real trainer. So the job that I had before, it wasn't technically a trainer because I was technically just telling people what to do, what the iPad was telling me to do. So didn't really like it too much. I really wasn't able to implement my own style. And then COVID happens, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, the company that I was working for is called The Perfect Workout. Fucking weird. All right, look into it. It's like slow motion training. The demographic was for older
Yeah,
people.
I
Hey,
know.
anytime you're moving and grooving, that's good. It's all positive. But I just didn't believe in the training style. I think it was just leading to injuries. And anyways, they were playing with my money. I've never had a company just play with my money like this. So I was on the verge of leaving them anyways. So COVID happens, shut down. We get a laid off, but I still had the information to all the clients there. So second week of COVID, I send a video to like, I don't know, 30, 40 numbers. I send a video to them saying, hey, we don't know how long this is gonna last. If anyone is interested in, keeping up their training, I'm offering Zoom sessions, like 5 of them get back to me. And that was my job for the next couple months, training people 2 to 3 times a week on the phone. And I don't know, what'd you call it? The stimulus package or whatever the hell we got, the money. So that, and then having somewhat of a steady income with the training changed my life. So one, that taught me to just fucking go for it. Yeah, fucking just cold call all these people and tell them. So that gave me, a lot of confidence. Then when it started to become a little more acceptable to train outside, I started training people outdoors.
Yeah, me too.
And again, that just taught me how to get clients on my own, how to implement my style, how to come up with a specific regimen for this person. And yeah, man, honestly. And then I ended up getting a job that I was at for 5 years, downtown San Francisco. I was training at an apartment complex called Nima.
Oh yeah,
Amazing gym.
Nima,
Yeah, amazing gym. It was I miss it just because the people were cool, But after having my daughter 6 months ago, I was like,
congrats.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I was like, I got it. This is now or never. I got to go completely on my own, And now I'm here.
Now you're here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
Fucking crazy.
So you're working just like private coaching.
Yes.
Private coaching now. And what's your focus on the style of training that you do? And is there a demographic of people? Like, is there a specific thing that you work towards? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, I say no. I don't say no to anyone. I have men, women. I have train older people. Train a couple.
Yeah, I've seen your some of your videos with your clients and stuff like that.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, the majority of people that come to me, they just want to get healthier. The basics, which you're accustomed to seeing.
How to lift weights.
Exactly.
Like the right form, just feeling comfortable in a gym.
Yeah.
When they walk through the door, because it's funny to me. It's not funny to me, but as a coach, I had this conversation last week as well with a different coach. And it was when people walk into a gym, they don't have a clue what they're doing or what they're looking at. They're just like, I don't even know what to do here.
Yeah.
Where we'll walk into any gym around the world and it's our home because we just know exactly what to do and blah, blah, blah. So it's more of our job as a coach to make sure that anybody that comes walking through the door to work with us feel extremely comfortable no matter the energy inside the room.
And COVID made it 10 times scarier for people. I mean, there's people that are still feeling the effects from COVID, fitness related. So I think, that's one, negative aspect that I think people are still trying to overcome from that. The gym was already scary before then, but now, man, people were not forced, but some people, were scared, rightfully so, and they stayed in the house and they became even more socially awkward.
The one thing that I took from COVID that I've been wanting to, this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
All right. Building the Bay Area's fittest community is basically what I'm trying to do. Through this podcast, having coaches on, having leaders on who are involved in the fitness industry overall. And the biggest thing that COVID did was destroy people's communication with others. So a lot of people are socially awkward
Yeah.
in some form of way. They're San Francisco, for the most part, I believe, from what I've seen. And one of the things that has been destroyed here, maybe it's been like this before, I just don't remember, but now is community.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are definitely starving for the right community. And that's what I'm working on with Ignite Fit Life, is to make sure that I provide the right community. I want to build a supportive community of like-minded individuals that are just there to hang out, do some fun stuff, and along the way, hopefully make some friends in the meantime.
Yeah.
It's because that's what I come from Ireland, man.
Yeah.
You're the guy that you've never met before that works in the local Vodafone or, phone shop. Mm-hmm. And he's Irish as well. You walk in there and there's an immediate click. It's like talking to your brother, or if it's a girl, it's your sister. That's how it is over there. But when you come over here, it's lost,
I agree.
And I definitely want to make sure that I can provide an environment where I can bring that aspect to the community that I'm building. Because I think it's important now more than ever to bring people together.
For sure.
There's such a division in every way. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. You could be talking politics, which is a huge one, obviously, but you talk nutrition, even that's getting political now. Low carb, high carb, vegan, carnivore.
It's so funny because I was just talking about that, with someone, and it's just funny. It's just
everything's just like divided. It's like, Jesus Christ, I don't care. Like, you eat only meat? All right, cool. Oh, you won't eat vegetables? All right, cool. Let's go somewhere that has both so we can just chill out and just talk to one another. Kitava, just so you all know.
But
no,
I agree. And everyone trains a different way. But yeah, I think the community aspect is super important because it is important to turn your head and see someone else, struggling with you, and also striving to overcome the obstacles, right along.
And how do you do that as a coach? Someone coming in for the first time, just kind of like, I suppose, terrified in some form of way, or, afraid to kind of come in. It's our job to make them feel comfortable from the get-go. What's your approach?
Honestly, first things first, I've just always been a face-to-face guy, like I just want to get someone in the door. That's it. And I like to look people in the eye. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really like to sell someone on the phone. I like to sell them in person. I'm like, hey, just come in. Just come in. Mm-hmm. I'll answer all your questions in there. Just come in. Mm-hmm. You got nothing to lose. Free session. Just come in. And when they walk through the door, that's where I feel like I can really
energy.
Yeah, that's where I feel like I can really work my magic. So it really depends. I think it all comes down to being able to read the person. Mm-hmm. Someone might come in and they're ready to do a free workout. Hey, my name's Carlos, blah, blah, blah. All right, let's work out. And some people, you can tell just within the first minute of talking to them, they might really be going through something. And there's times where I'm like, you know what? Let's talk. Let's have a seat. We'll do the free session next time. But for today, talk to me. Like, tell me what was going on. Like, what? Just tell me about yourself. So in that situation, I'm like, this guy needs a friend, or this girl needs a friend, and they just need someone to maybe hear them out.
Yeah, 100%.
And just to open up, because even opening up and letting feelings out, that's a workout. You're taking all the weight off your shoulders, and you're telling a stranger just your deepest fears, and then the next time, they're more comfortable when we meet. We go through a little sample workout. They feel their muscles working, for that. I get to show them that for an hour, you're going to be working out so hard that you're not even thinking about your problems for an hour.
That's like the one thing that I say this in class as well. At the end of one of my HIIT classes, you've probably seen them. It's just mayhem.
Yeah.
Because I want the people that come through that door to forget about their stresses and worries and struggles. The only thing I want you to think about right now is how difficult this workout is. And the fact that you have to push your body and your mind mentally to get you past how hard this is.
Yeah.
And I say this, not all the time, but sometimes at the end of my class, literally just, isn't it great to just do something and that takes you away from your day, at least for an hour?
Yeah.
You know? And that's why I do what I do, because I think that's one of my biggest goals in some form of way, is to make sure that the person that is coming to see me is stepping away from the stresses and the worries of their day. People are going through some stuff, and when you're a coach and you're a personal training people one-on-one, people open up.
Yeah.
Especially when you get deeper into your training program and you build more of a friendship with these guys. They open up a lot and they express a lot about their family, the stuff that's going on. And we're just here to listen to them and give them opinions when they want it, or any kind of like, hey, what's your opinion on blah, blah, blah. Then you'll give it to them. But I think the most important thing for us as coaches is to keep people away from the stuff that they're going through, even if it's just for an hour, because a lot of people can't even find the time to step away and just be by themselves and improve their quality of life. So my goal is to make sure it's like improving your quality of life doesn't take 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours a day. It's a 5-minute walk around the block with a coffee in your hand. Doesn't even matter if it's the Tenderloin, at least it's something.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's really important as well. So kudos on that one, man.
For sure. And this is San Francisco, man. It ain't cheap, so
No.
people are more stressed and people are just trying to survive. And it's like, I don't blame a lot of people for thinking that they don't have time for the gym. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But it's just like shit, man. That the stress of surviving is gonna kill you faster if you don't fucking do something about it and prioritize your health.
Yeah, see, people don't know what to do. So this, our program that we've built, it's like, it's 30 minutes. You can do it in your house.
Yeah.
And it's 30 minutes and you've got me screaming at you over the screen with two athletes beside me. And it's like, if you look at your phone and tell me you don't have 30 minutes, it's like your screen time is up. And there has been a time where you scrolled for 30 minutes, throughout the day. Everybody does it, 100%. I do it, obviously. But you do have 20 minutes to do squats, push-ups, jumping jacks. Do those 3 for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do a little bit. It doesn't take that long. You can do it for 10 minutes to begin with. Fuck it. Do it for 5. Do it 5 minutes. And then increase it a minute the next time you want to do it. It's not, I want to be this person overnight. It's implementing the person that you want to be over time.
Yeah. That's scrolling. Until people look at that as a drug, it's gonna get in your way. You know what I mean? Like if you're not working out, but you are, scrolling a bunch, like you said, you got to start treating that thing like a drug that's kind of starting to fuck with your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're like, it can, oh my God, it just happens like that.
It does, man. It's just boredom.
Scary.
It's like, it's boredom.
It's scary.
As soon as you stop at a traffic light when you're walking even, or you're just waiting for something, it's like, oh, I put my hand on my...
and I'm walking my dog.
And I'm just like looking at it. And it's a boredom thing. It's like, as soon as I'm not doing anything, my hand just goes, oh, I'm going to go back into the pocket and then pull it out again. And I have to overcome an awful lot. We all do.
Yeah.
Drugs, alcohol, just all sorts of different things all the time. And the next thing now is the phone, which is why I, bring books with me now rather than having the phone with me.
Yeah.
Like my job is on my phone and I use it when I need to. And there are times in which I scroll when I shouldn't, but I'm getting better at it. I can feel it.
Yeah.
But it's another thing that we have to overcome, and we need to see that as an issue.
Absolutely.
So with the training, being a personal trainer and stuff, what's your goals, man? What's your future as a coach?
So honestly, I right now, to be specific, obviously, keep getting busy. Past 2 months, or actually past 6 months have been just fucking crazy.
That's good.
You know what I mean? Crazy in the best way possible. So, having my first baby, with my wife, and my mind has been definitely focused on that. We recently just moved from South San Francisco to the Sunset. Oh my God, moving is brutal.
It's the worst.
Jesus Christ. When I first moved out of my parents' house to my wife, I was like, oh man, this is easy. Just grab a couple clothes, a couple shoes in my car. And this time, you got a family, and And it's oh man. So anyways, my mind was focused on that. So right now at this particular time in my life, just, getting busy with the one-on-one training, thinking long-term, getting more serious about my online training. So I got about 7 people that I train online, trying to perfect that right now. And then, just market it as much as I can. And honestly, just trying to, do stuff like this, step out of the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because
it is, isn't it? It's like that, isn't it?
Doing stuff like this,
Yeah.
I mean, just all my life, doing the uncomfortable stuff, man, it just opens so many doors, So yeah, I would definitely say, obviously, keep growing the business.
Okay.
More money, it's always good. But, just try to reach more people through the online training.
Okay.
Because even if I was a robot, I could only train, 24 people in a day.
It's a mad old life, isn't it, being a coach? You're in and out and round and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's a full day, but it's like, it's scattered all over the place.
Yeah. So, when my baby was born,
yeah. How are you managing the coaching with your baby?
the way that you overcome anything, and that's with, proper communication, communicating with my wife, because she's a photographer.
Okay. She freelances as well?
Correct. So, just every week planning.
Okay.
Just like fitness, planning, communicating.
Yeah.
Planning the week ahead, and thankfully we are blessed with the greatest family ever. It takes a village, and we have an amazing village that is always willing to step in and help us when
Awesome.
maybe we both have some money making opportunities. But yeah, definitely communication. It's not easy, but we're figuring it out. We're getting better and better every month. And yeah, man, it's a trip, dude. I literally wake up every day and I'm like, I cannot believe I'm a dad. It's fucking insane. We dreamed about it for so long, and I got a whole new motivation. You know what I mean? And I like that part of it. The stakes are high. I love it when the stakes are high.
Yeah, because you've got, it's nice to have, when the stakes are high, you got to work.
You got to. You got no
You got to
choice.
work. You have no choice. You got to get up out of bed. You got to go do what you got to do. And you got to keep them there too. So my fiance and I are not in a position right now to be like obviously having a baby because of the way we both work.
Yeah.
But I'm working hard to make sure that I get myself into a position that I am available.
Yeah.
I grew up, my son has pretty much grown up with me living here. I'm not having that again.
Yeah.
And he will be moving over here with me in the future, hopefully sooner rather than later, and to keep building that relationship that we have with each other. So we're in that position now that like in the next 2 years, like I'm working my ass off to make sure that I get to that point where we can go, okay, now we can have a kid, or at least have kids, because I want to have time at home and not time just like doing work. If I can work from home for the most part as well with the company that I'm building, awesome. Then great, because it's really important to make sure that we have the time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Not just for work, but obviously for our family, which comes first, which is why we work. So trying to balance those two out are obviously very, that's the hardest part, And again, you were good, man. You got yourself into that mental state that you needed to get yourself into. Your wife was there to support you along the way and get you to where you need to go. You guys have a kid now, and it seems like you guys are doing awesome.
Yeah.
Fair dues, bro. I see your photos, I see your videos and all, and congrats, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Man, I appreciate that. Yeah. And, I would say that's the number one thing. What I love about this career is, I always told even in those dead end jobs, I'm like, man, I fucking hate having a boss. I just hate it.
Yeah,
I hate having to fucking answer to someone.
That's why I am what I am. I don't like working for people. Simon's good. Simon's all right. Simon's he just leaves because he leaves me to it.
Exactly. And, but that's the cool thing about personal training. Like, even if you do have a boss, it still kind of feels like you don't. Like, that's how fun the job is, Yeah.
But
that's why I completely just left, my other job in, San Francisco. Because I was like, okay, I need the freedom to where, if an emergency does happen, I'm not leaving a shift, I communicate with the person that maybe I was going to, meet up with. in anything. But yeah, just the freedom, man. I love it. I have to be on myself, you know, and you know, if we're lazy, we don't get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could be lazy. You could probably be lazy at another job and you'll still get a paycheck. But, you know, with us.
No. I go on vacation, I don't get paid.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, I'm getting out of that now, obviously, with this company. But overall, it's like, yeah, I go on vacation, I go for 2 weeks. I'm not getting paid, dude.
Yeah.
It's not happening. As soon as I get back, I'm like, all right, let's start getting paid again. And that's the hardest part about it. Yeah. We don't get PTO. Yeah. You know what I mean? So there is that to it. So we got to save and make sure we look after our finances as best we can, you know? Yeah. So how I like to finish this off, as always, is to get some words of inspiration to you. What have you got to say from your journey? Doesn't have to be from a coach, you know, but maybe you've learned something in the past that motivates you, that you think would inspire our listeners today. What would that be? Elaborate on it as best you can, I suppose.
Man, honestly, the first thing that comes to my mind is just going back to the phones. You got to stay off the phones and you just got to go do it. And what I mean by that is there's so much information out there that sometimes it can stop you from just going and finding your style. So an example could be, you know, how to work out. You're going to see one video that says, this is the way to do it. You know, this is the way you have to do it. And then guess what? Next week, there's going to be a video talking shit about the last video you saw saying, no, this is the way to do it. And, you know, it's going to sound correct. And then it's just ongoing. There's always going to be a video talking shit about the last video. So if you want to learn how to swim, you got to get wet. You can't read about it, okay? Like one style is going to benefit one person and it might not benefit the other. The only way to really know what's going to work for you is to physically just step in the gym, talk to someone, and you're going to feel like the best version of yourself. Mm-hmm. You know deep down inside you want to. So you got to listen to your inner voice, because I think a lot of times we silence our inner voice. And listen to your regrets. That's the last thing I'm gonna say, because if you listen to your regrets, you will be on the right path to whatever your version of greatness is. If you drink today and you regret it tomorrow, okay, listen to your regrets and try not to do that. When's the last time you regretted a workout?
Zero.
Fucking never.
Maybe if they go to my HIIT class, they might regret it.
Yeah.
But overall, I get it. Yeah, it's more about taking action, bro. You know,
it might not be the most motivating thing in the world, but guess what? It's reality. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You got to just go do it. You know you want to feel better. You know you want to look better. Get a trainer. Seriously, I am a personal trainer and I have a fucking trainer. That's how important it is, because I know that having someone that is going to keep me accountable, that's how I'm going to get the most out of myself. Mm-hmm. So there you go. There you have it. Even the personal trainer has a trainer. You need it. You're not going to regret it. If you think it's too expensive, I guarantee you, if you go look at the shit that you spend money on, there's one or two things you can take out and then put it into training. So stop fucking making excuses and get your ass in the gym. That's it, man.
Get out there and do it. No, I appreciate that. Carlos.
Dude, thank you so much for having me, man. This was hella fun.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. I do appreciate it.
All right, man.
I'm glad that you shared your story. I loved hearing about it. It was awesome. Thank you for the message at the end. It will definitely inspire some people to just, take the first step to moving. That's the most important thing here for us, is like taking the first step to just moving. It doesn't have to be the most rigorous thing. It's just go for that first thing that's going to get you to move. Feel how you feel afterwards. And I guarantee you'll want to do it again. It doesn't have to be rigorous. It just has to be something.
Exactly. And that something will lead to the next thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Always does.
Appreciate it, bud.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah.
Woo.
It's great having you.